Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy June. I hope that you can hear me this evening. I'm just going to wait for a couple of moments. When I can see that someone is here live, I will ask you to give me a thumbs up and let me know that you can hear me and that I'm not just miming into the middle distance. So let's just give it a couple of seconds. If you are watching the replay, you're very welcome, and hopefully what you hear will be just what you need to hear this evening on this sunny 7th of June. I can see that someone has joined me. Can you let me know with a thumbs up or a hello or a comment in the comments box that you can actually hear me? Yes! Welcome, Suzanne. You're actually here live today. What a treat for you and me. Lovely to have you here. I'll just give it a couple more minutes before I make a start. So, Suzanne, for your benefit and for the benefit of anyone else that's watching this session for the first time, it's a little different to a standard coaching session in that I use the principles of energy to channel the questions that are going to be most relevant and useful for you in this moment on this day. So the idea is that you think of an area of your life or a specific goal that you have, a specific topic that you'd like to focus on, and have that in mind as you listen to the questions that I ask. And I will ask a series of questions which I've drawn earlier from a whole set of questions that I've designed to create a breakthrough reflection and thinking experience for you. So we always follow a similar format, but the questions are different. If you believe in this sort of thing, the connectedness of the energy in the universe, then you will find that what you hear tonight is exactly what you need to hear, even if you're watching on the replay. And if you don't believe in that sort of thing, just know that your mind will connect with these questions and interpret them in a way that serves you best and that gives you just what you need this evening. So that's the way this works. That's the principle of the session. So let's crack on and see what questions we've got for this evening. So, thinking about that area of your life that you'd like to focus on, and with that in mind, the first question set that I'm going to ask you is all about creating a goal for yourself. And remember, goals that we explicitly acknowledge, that we write down, that we share publicly, that we stick on our wall somewhere, are substantially more likely to be achieved. So get that goal explicit and in the front of your mind as these questions help you shape your thinking on what you would like to achieve. And the goal card that has come up this evening is called Identity. So this card invites you to reflect on who you are deep down. When you strip away all of those layers, those expectations from other people that you put on yourself, the badges that you've accumulated over time that say, this is who I am, this is what I'm about. Who and what is it that lies at the very core of who you are? And how would it be if that's what you connected with and that's how you showed up? The very highest version, the most strong and central version of yourself. So with that in mind, take a moment to describe, to reflect on and describe to yourself the best version of you. Describe the best version of you. And how would you love to show up in the world right now? What would you love to become known for? And how do you want to grow as a human being? So you can be the very best version of yourself, but still have areas that you would like to learn more about, develop, grow within yourself. So how do you want to grow? Notice what comes up for you within that reflection on identity, and see whether a goal presents itself when you reflect on those questions. And we're going to jump from that goal straight into our Cartesian coordinates. So these are questions that are designed to trip up our standard ways of thinking and break us into new avenues, help our subconscious make a bit of a breakthrough and nudge us out of our day-to-day patterns of thinking. And the card that has come up is called Attachment. And this follows on really nicely from the questions about identity. So this is a set of 4 questions, and they have a kind of common thread running between them. So thinking about the reflections you've just made on the nature of your identity and your deepest and highest self, let me ask you this. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? What would you do if you knew you could not fail? What would you do if you knew it was okay to fail? What would you do if failing was okay? What would you not do if you knew you couldn't fail? What would you not do if you knew you could not fail? And what would you not do if you knew it was okay to fail? What would you not do even if failure was okay? So notice what those questions prompt, what they open up for you. And let's take a little explore of our current situation. So we've had the momentum card come up. This card is an invitation to jettison some weight, some baggage that you're carrying around with you. Something is holding you back or weighing you down. This card is all about figuring out what you need to let go of in order to move forward. So, what do you need to let go of doing right now? What do you need to let go of doing? And what's stopping you from progressing? Just take a minute and think about it. What's stopping you? And how can you address that? What's stopping you from progressing, and how are you going to address that? Now, the next question came up in a slightly different format last week, and that tells me that someone needs to hear this. What 20% of sources are creating 80% of your unhappiness or dissatisfaction? In other words, what small something in your life is having a disproportionate effect on your overall contentment? Imagine if you could let that go. So this momentum card, the principle it starts from is that we have all of the energy that we need. If we can channel it appropriately, if we can get ourselves unstuck, get any blocks out of the way, put down anything that's weighing us down, our energy wants to flow, and it wants to flow towards our desires, our ambitions, and our dreams. But often we are carrying something in here, perhaps down here. We're carrying something that's dragging us back and stopping us from having our full power and force to move forward. So this card is an invitation to ask yourself, what is stopping me? Is it within me? It usually is. If it is within me, how can I put it down or let it go? If it's outside of me, can I influence it? Can I control it? Can I remove myself from that energy that's dragging me back? So the final question on this card is, what do you need to change to feel unstoppable as a powerful force in your own life? What do you need to change? And we're just going to jump across to our values and beliefs set. So just a reminder, these are about those unconscious programs that run beneath the surface and drive what we do. We can deny them, we can ignore them, but they are usually responsible for just about every unconscious or unintentional action, decision, or feeling that we have. We often forget to question, what am I really thinking right now? What am I really feeling? What do I really need? What do I really want? We tell our stories as if they are facts, when really they're just narratives that we've constructed over the course of our lifetime. We hide things from ourselves, we cling to truths that don't serve us. So who would you be if you could access what was really driving you under the surface? Let's peek behind that curtain and delve into what's happening in that operating system that keeps you motoring, and see if we can find some new insight that might help us. So we've got card 8, and this is the awareness card. So this card acknowledges that we hide things from ourselves because it feels too uncomfortable to bring them into the light of our awareness or to be challenged on them. We hide them from ourselves, we hide them from others too, because we don't want to be confronted, we don't want to feel exposed. That might force us to change. But if change is what you want, this card is inviting you to bring something to the surface, to question it, to challenge it, to decide, does this serve me, or can I let it go? So there's a really strong and consistent theme in this evening's pattern of questions. There's something to be brought up and put down. So, thinking about that area of your life, thinking about the nature of identity and who you are at your best and strongest, thinking about what you need to put down to be that unstoppable force within your own life. What do you not want to be asked in relation to this? What do you not want to be asked? What haven't you admitted out loud yet? And I'm going to invite you, within the safety of your own Facebook screen, to say it out loud. What haven't you admitted out loud yet? None of us can hear you. Say it out loud now. There is power in vocalizing that truth. Did you do it? Well done. So let me ask you this. What are you secretly gaining by not changing? There will be something that's keeping you here, that's holding you stuck. What are you secretly gaining? And who or what else is benefiting by you not making a change? So what are you secretly gaining? And who or what else is benefiting by you staying where and as you are? And it's possible that some quite big stuff has come up for you there. And just know that by having it here in your field of vision, within your awareness, you get to choose. You get to choose what to do with this stuff now. And if you choose to keep it knowing why, with intention and with purpose, rather than just kind of absently dragging whatever this thing is along with you. Make sense? But if it's not serving you, if it's keeping you stuck when you're ready to move on, then take a deep breath and let it go. It's time to let it go. Now, let's look at a few options for making a change. Now that you have this clarification, this visibility of where you're at and what might have been holding you back. We have the resourcefulness card. So it's usually the case that we have far more of what we need than we think we do. And in fact, in line with everything that I've just invited you to reflect on, having realized these things that have kept you stuck, and realizing it's within your power, if you so choose, to let that stuff go, to make that change. This card simply reinforces that. You have everything you need. Take an inventory, work out exactly what you have that's going to support you. If there are any gaps, take a look at those and work out what you will need to create or develop in order to have what you want and set you on the path that you're meant to be on. So, what strengths do you have that will serve you well in this area? And if you are doing this formally with a pen and paper, write those down. Make yourself a list. I am, I have. And when that list runs dry, ask yourself, what would my biggest cheerleader say I have at my disposal? What would they remind you you're capable of? So scribble like a mad person, all of the lovely stuff you have at your disposal to help you make this change, to help you create a breakthrough in this area of your life, particularly now that you have this visibility and clarity of what you can let go of and put down to make that change. Have you got a nice long list of strengths? And what's the one additional thing that you need that you don't currently have? Because you're resourceful, you can create this extra stuff that you need. But get clear in your mind, what's one thing that I don't currently have that would really benefit me? Let's assume that you could get it. How could you create that for yourself? Who is getting the results that you would love to get? How is that person showing up? Who are they being that you are not being? And what could you learn from them? So you've got your list of strengths. You've identified one area that would benefit from some resource creation. You've thought of a person that's perhaps role modelling some of what you'd love to create or love to have or love to show up with. What can you learn from them? And just think about the week that you had last week. What has your biggest success been in the last week or so? And what can you pin in from that? What can you do to create even more of that success that you've already been creating for yourself? I'm vibing all the positive energy from you writing down all of your strengths and realizing how much you have. So let's make some commitments to do some work. And it's no coincidence, I don't think, that the learning card is the way forward, the work card that we've pulled. So you've identified, as well as some strengths, an area that it would really benefit you to create something new, something you need to learn, a skill that you need to develop. And now we've pulled the learning card. So there is something that you need to develop in order to move forward. This card is encouraging you to develop yourself so that you're more ready and able to create that change. So, how are you going to develop yourself? Think about everything that you've reflected on already. Be mindful of that area of your life that you want to create the change in. Think about your identity, your highest self, all of your strengths and resourcefulness. Think about what you need to let go of, what you've realized you've been quietly clinging to, hiding behind, telling yourself that you're now ready to make a decision to let go or to put in its rightful place. And you've identified something you need to build within yourself. How are you going to develop yourself? What are you going to go and learn about straight away? That's exciting. What are you going to go and learn about? For me, it's hypnotherapy. That's my next thing that I'm going to go and learn about, which I'm quite excited about. What is your mantra for success going to be for this week? Take a moment, take a deep breath. Think about everything that's come up for you as you've reflected during this session. As you breathe, see if you can feel your heart beating in your chest. And allow yourself to catch a message from your heart, a positive mantra for yourself. I am. I am. I am resourceful. I am capable. I am ready to let go. Notice what comes up for you when you listen to the messages deep within your heart. Find that positive sentiment. Breathe into it, bring it into your awareness and catch it. And let that be the mantra for you this week. And the final question in this week's session is, what are you now willing to accept as truth? What are you now willing to accept as truth? And that, friends, is this week's session. I hope that it has been a useful reflection for you. I'd love to know what learning you intend to take forward, whether you were able to catch a message from your heart to make your mantra for this week. And I will see you here, same time, for now at least, a week from now. And in the meantime, have a lovely week, everybody. And thank you for joining me. See you soon.